Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Steph. Today I just wanted to have a silly, goofy, fun time with all you silly, goofy, fun time people. So today we're going to talk about the books I think my cats would recommend me. So you're probably asking yourself, how would I know what books that I think my cats would recommend me? Well, I know my cat's reading taste fairly well. First, we'll talk about Fitzy. Fitzy is my very shy, very scared cat. She is scared of everybody, scared of everything, scared of loud noises, but she does love to cuddle a lot. So I've come to the realization that I'm pretty sure Fitzy is a horror girl. I think that she likes intense horror, but I also think she loves like a dark academia moment, you know, like thriller, horror, dark academia moments. But there's always somehow like a murder, mystery, grotesqueness to what she's reading. And therefore that's why I think she's always so scared, because she's always consuming horror media. And I'm sure when the house is empty and she's home alone, she's just listening to true crime podcasts all the time. I feel like that's why she's such a scaredy cat. So I think the books that Fitzy would recommend me, now these are some of her favorites, but also kind of things that I think she thinks I would like. I think the first one would be You've Lost a Lot of Blood. I think she really wants me to retry Eric LaRocca, which I totally understand. I didn't love Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. This one is another extreme horror. As a matter of fact, on Goodreads, it literally describes it as a new disturbing vision and terror. So yeah, I just definitely think that she would try to get me to read another Eric LaRocca. And you know what? I would give it a shot. I think I would give it a shot. The next book that I think she would recommend me, again, another pretty extreme horror, and that is Tender as the Flesh. I feel like she's trying to tell me something with this one because it is about cannibalism. There's no longer the ability to eat animal flesh, so now people are eating human flesh. But I think this could be a great entrance into extreme horror. I don't know that that's something that I really want, is to be an extreme horror reader, but I think that she's onto something. I would definitely give this one a shot. You know, I would add it to my want to read shelf. Her next recommendation is less horror and it's bordering more on thriller slash culty, and this is where I think she's doing a great job because she knows I love a culty moment. And so I think she would recommend me The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. This is supposed to have like a cult element. I think she knows that I love cults, but it's also bordering like horror and thriller, and usually I definitely like thriller elements in my horror books. So this is sort of the perfect combination. I think she really did something here with this one. This next recommendation is definitely moving into the thriller. This is our second to last recommendation and it's called Things We Do in the Dark. This is a newer release, and I think that she picked this one because we do live in the greater Los Angeles area and a woman is suspected of killing her celebrity husband. So I think this is really fun. This will be a little fun and fresh thriller, especially because I'm not the biggest thriller reader. I'm definitely someone who's wanting to get more into thrillers, so I'm liking where she's going with these recommendations because we are getting a little more thrillery. I don't quite know what plot devices I really enjoy in thrillers, so I'm willing to give this one a chance. I do though wonder if these titles are starting to mean something, like Things We Do in the Dark. If you know anything about my cats, they wake us up at 3:30 in the morning to get fed. And I feel like Fitz is like trying to threaten me with these titles, because the next one that she recommended me on this little list that she emailed me, why she couldn't give it to me in person, I don't really know, she just emailed it to me, is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. Now I know that I said that I wanted to give Riley Sager another chance. This wasn't the one that I would choose, but yes, her next book recommendation is Survive the Night, which is set in the 90s, and I believe it's a road trip. So the unfortunate part for her is that this book got completely spoiled for me, so I won't be reading it. And I feel like she knew that, so I really do think she's trying to communicate something to me with these titles. If I go missing, you know where to look. So now we have Miss Olive, and a lot of you have seen Olive in my videos. She is a lover of the camera. She loves to be in the limelight. She is famous in her own right, and if anything, this should be her channel. But Olive, contrary to popular belief and what people like to sort of project on her as a reader, is that she's the one who likes horror. But as a matter of fact, she actually is a big lover of romance and literary fiction. And see, I'm just newly getting into romance, probably because of her influence. I'm just newly getting into romance. So I'm very excited to go over her list of recommendations. She wrote this on a paper towel. She's a little unorganized. So the first romance that she recommended me is Actor H. Eve Brown, and I love this recommendation. I definitely see what she's doing here. I've read the first two Brown sisters and I really enjoyed them, so I think think she's picking something that she thinks like I would love, but it's also romance, and it's probably just very happily ever after type of romance. So I'm excited to finally get to this one. I'm glad she put it on this recommendations list because I want to get to it soon, I think. So this next recommendation, I think she really nailed this one because it's a author I have not read from before, but it has tropes that I really like. Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. And so this one has a small town and it's supposed to deal with grief. I really love those two things in romances. So this could be like a 5-star prediction. Olive could take the cake with this recommendation. And as a matter of fact, I think she's a big lover of small town romances as well. I think she dreams of getting out of this big city and just living her romantic dream in this small town where she falls in love with another cat. As a matter of fact, the next one could potentially be an even better recommendation from what I'm seeing, and it's called Fall Into You. This is a sapphic romance set in the fall in a small town. Like, Olive. So if I thought Love in Other Words was a really great recommendation, this one is even better because sapphic romance is my favorite romance. Small town, fall. It's in the autumn. See, Olive took a different approach here, whereas Fitzy was trying to send me a message about my future, but potentially recommending me things that she loves and is like, yeah, maybe you'll like it. Olive really did some research here. She really tried to figure out what I would like. And so her next recommendation is A Lady for a Duke. And I think that she recommended me this one because I have been wanting to get into some, not Regency, but just like historical romance, I guess. I've been interested in historical romance. She must have noticed that because I have put some things on my wish list that are like historical romancy. So I think she's recommending this to me because it is a queer historical romance. So it's the perfect place to like dip my toe in, you know, and maybe this will open up the world to wanting to read more historical romance. I'm glad she didn't try to start me off with Bridgerton because I don't know that I'm interested in that, but this one, I have a really great potential of now liking, or at least liking, this historical romance. And then her last recommendation definitely goes back to her literary fiction roots, but also understanding that I'm more inclined to pick up a romance. She suggested Normal People. I've never read a Sally Rooney. I haven't had too much interest in it, but I do think that it's cool that it's like literary fiction that has romance in it. And so she's giving me the best of both worlds, I think. I don't actually know if this has romance in it. I'm just assuming. Sally Rooney is often classified as a romance author. I'll have to clarify with her, but I really like this recommendation because I haven't tried a Sally Rooney, but so many people love her and I want to understand that hype. I think Olive is definitely a Sally Rooney girl. She's definitely a Sally Rooney girl. I don't think that. I know she is. She's read everything by Sally Rooney. So this must be the best one because this is the one that she recommended me. I don't really know if Olive was trying to send me a message. More so, I think she was trying to win at the recommendations because her and her sister are very competitive. So anyway, those are the 10 books that I think my cats would recommend me. I didn't obviously give you any synopsis of them because I haven't read them. I don't really know. But maybe I will read them and report back to you. Anyway, thank you for going through this list that my cats made for me, you know, the recommendations. I have just not felt like filming really anything. I wanted to film something fun, so I decided to check out what my cats would recommend me. And I think they did a really great job. And if you've made it this far and you have nothing to say, please leave 2 cat emojis in the comments below, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.